Big Huff Daddy doing the analysis for NBA Finals Game 2, Boston in Golden State, and it ended up being a blowout. Spoiler alert. But how did it end up being a blowout? Because Boston really, they started out pretty good. They started for 5-5, but then 0-7. Golden State was kind of slow coming out of the gate, a little bit cold. They're looking for offensive rhythm. Tatum, he was going off. His three-point percentage was looking pretty good for the end of the game. Draymond gets a and one, but then he misses a free throw. The free throws, I think, kind of were going to be a factor in this game, but it didn't really end out to be that way. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Klay starts 1 of 4 from the field. The Warriors missed 4 layups right at the basket. At that point, they were still just struggling, trying to figure something out. Both teams playing really, really good defense. Can Golden State find an answer for Brown? That's a note that I had in here. Tatum, Brown, and Grant Williams, they have 2 fouls so far. This is still in the first quarter. Golden State still missing free throws. Then Golden State they go on a run, 10-2 run for Golden State. A minute and a half left in that first quarter. Tatum hits a couple 3-pointers in a row. Golden State hits 2 3-pointers in a row to match what Tatum did. Boston, though, they had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. So I think these turnovers really is what the factor is going into what really led it into Golden State just taking this one and just not looking back. And we can see, just a side note before I get back into these notes, the Boston Celtics, they did have a problem with turnovers versus the Miami Heat, where Miami Heat just couldn't capitalize on these turnovers that Boston was giving them. And I think that could be something that could, weigh on them going into the rest of the series. But back into these notes real quick, Steph hits a runner that puts Golden State up 1 at the end of the quarter. So Golden State really closed that first quarter out really good. Then both teams come out, great defense again. And there was not really much scored in that second quarter to begin with. Tied at 35, 8.5 minutes left to go in that second quarter. Boston scores 5 in a row. Then the Warriors, they come out, they hit 5 in a row, tie it, go on a 10-point run. And then they were up 5. And Boston goes on another run. And Boston was up 6 at one point. So this first half, both these teams, they are just going at it. And that's kind of how that first half went. Both teams playing hard to close out the first half. And it was a tie game with 2 minutes left in that first half. So still, Klay 1 of 8 in that first half. Boston 11 turnovers in the first half. Then we get into the third quarter. Klay actually started getting going. He hit his second shot in the game in that third quarter. I think he hit another one in the basket. So he got a little 5-pointers in a row right there. But just a tough night for Klay. Golden State, they go up 10, 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Then they go on a 12-2 run for Golden State. And then they go on another 11-0 run. And that was 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Boston was up to 16 turnovers. At that point, 93-64. Boston really couldn't get much going. At one point, they were almost down 30. They kind of kept it interesting going into like 6 minutes left, but Poole, he started getting going, and Golden State, they just didn't let him back in the game. I'll check out these stats real quick, but if you watch the video beforehand, you see that's kind kind of what I was thinking. I honestly didn't think they were going to be, Golden State was going to be this dominant. But that third quarter and then Boston just really not being able to respond. And these turnovers for Boston was, I think, a really big deal. I'll go ahead and look in the stats, see if there's anything else that I can kind of point out real quick. That third quarter, Boston only scored 14. End of game, 88-107. Let's see if I put some stats up real quick. Golden State tying up the series, going 1-1 back into Boston. So, yeah, that third quarter was really a big deal. Only 14 points for Boston, 35 points for Golden State. Robert Williams, though, only 2 points. He was getting some blocks, though. Tatum, 28 points, 6 rebounds. Horford, only 2 points after coming off historic three-point shooting for Horford. Brown, 7 points. So you want to see Brown more like a 25-point. Smart, only 2 points. You really want to see him 20, 25 points also. And White, 12 points. He was giving you, close to 20 in the Miami series in the last game. And then really not much after that. Williams, only 6. And really not much else for the Celtics. I really want to see Looney kind of get a little more into it. Didn't miss anything, 12 points, 6 for 6. So it's good to see Looney really, being a factor in this. Curry, though, Curry's going to be the main headline going into tomorrow. Sports Center, probably already talking about Curry going off 29 and 6. Rebounds, 4 assists, and Wiggins. Klay Thompson actually ended 11 points for Wiggins, respectively. And Poole, 17. Otto Porter gave you a couple points also. Draymond, kind of like a classic Draymond game. 9 points, 7 assists, gave you a few rebounds, 5 rebounds. So just kind of looking into the box score real quick. Now, going into these stats, 37.5% from the field was Boston Celtics, and that's not going to win you games. It might win you a game versus Miami Heat, where they're kind of challenged offensively, but Warriors, man, they can hit 45% from the field. But each team kind of is crazy, 40% from three-pointers. So kind of going what I was saying about Tatum earlier, hitting from threes. Total rebounds, about even 42 to 43. Boston leads that. Assists, 24-25. Golden State way. Woof. Steals, 15 steals for Golden State. Boston, 7 blocks, 5 steals, but these steals, 15 steals, that's that kind of pops out to me. 18 turnovers for Boston to Golden State's 12, and they don't give me the points off turnovers. Man, I kind of want to see that. Points in the paint, 42 also for Golden State. So you can see the 3-pointers plus them 42 points in the paint, really coupled with that 14 to 35 point third quarter. That was really just kind of how Golden State blew that up. So we got game 3 Wednesday. Oof, man, that game, man, it was close in the first half, but then Golden State really just buckled down. They had them 2 runs right there in that third quarter, and they just really didn't look back. Didn't let Boston get back in the game. Boston can get back in a game like that, but Golden State really just had held their foot on the gas, and they kept it going. So just thinking of the next game real quick off the top of my head, I really feel like Boston's going to bounce back. I'll get a quick pick in probably tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, latest. I think I want to do like a deep dive, kind of how Clay's playing, if he can if he can kind of bounce back, and whose legacy is going to be affected for these finals. So I kind of think about getting something in between before Wednesday, get that quick pick in, and man, it's good finals. These first two games. Looking forward to Wednesday. Like, subscribe, comment. Kind of, what do you think I should look into this week on Monday, Tuesday? Nothing really going on. I really want to focus on the finals. I know there's some other news in basketball, NBA world right now, but I want to focus on the finals, and then when the finals is over, then I can talk about that other stuff. But I really want to focus on the finals. Maybe, like I said, kind of see what's going on with Clay, whose legacy is going to be affected by this. Kind of see what I can get going. Big HDENT. Once again, like, subscribe, give me some comments, some feedback, and I'm in full effect. Let's go.